Are you feeling bored and are simply tired of it? Or maybe you even watch this video out of pure boredom? Then I'm going to give you some simple psychological and spiritual tips how to remove boredom forever. When I discovered the actual origin of boredom, it became less and less until it finally disappeared. So let me tell you how I did it, and let's get started. Probably you also know it during isolation due to Corona. Especially I felt it during my summer holidays when it was super warm outside and I just get up and feel like, nah, I feel super lazy, unmotivated, or a little bit grumpy. And the first thing that I automatically started doing was taking my phone and checking some messages and just lying around. And this was not really helpful because this feeling of boredom was still there. First of all, how does boredom arise? What I realized is that most of the times boredom starts to arise as a result of certain expectations and beliefs and not necessarily due to the situation itself. I mean, we are human beings. We are looking for gratification, sensory stimulation, that we have some kind of pleasure. And how do we do this? By watching Netflix, going out, partying, meeting with friends, eating, and so on. So we constantly want to do these things and we get used to it more and more. So we create a new baseline of gratification, and if this gratification does not become more or maybe even declines, then feelings of emptiness, laziness or boredom might arise. And why? Because we expect something. We expect that something is missing, some kind of gratification. And what most people tend to do is to simply distract themselves. And how? By watching Netflix, checking, going to the fridge if there's something nice to eat. But if you really pay attention, you will realize that you do not do these things because you really want to do them. You do them because you feel frustrated, right? You are not really hungry, you just try to get any kind of sensory pleasure. And this is how it normally works. And what happens is that for one short moment you might feel satisfied while you are eating your chocolate bar or watching Netflix. But after finishing this activity, you realize that those uncomfortable feelings are still there. You only did not pay attention to them while you were eating your chocolate bar, and it seemed as if those uncomfortable feelings rather moved to the background because you were only focused on the food. But once you finished eating, you realize they're still there. It doesn't matter whether you're trying to distract yourself in any kind of way, they will probably not go away. So this distracting and trying to find even more sensory gratification does not really work in the long run. Instead, I would suggest to simply rest for only 5 or maybe 10 minutes to pay attention to your current situation and those uncomfortable feelings, because the only reason why they are there is because they want to get noticed. This boredom wants to be noticed, so just look at it and see what it wants to tell you. Maybe it tells you that you need a short break from this overstimulation, maybe some quiet time for yourself. I don't know, just figure it out. And what I also noticed is that it is only a thought accompanied by some kind of emotion. I think that I feel bored because I might miss out on something, or I don't know. But when I simply started meditating just for a few minutes, I realized actually I have everything that I need: a house, a safe place, or just go outside and enjoy nature, look at the flowers, or I don't know, just take a few breaths. And I really realized that those simple things were also really satisfying. And I really asked myself, okay, like, what is it? But in the end, it's just a thought. And this thought of I feel bored or I'm frustrated is simply nourished by beliefs, expectations, such as I might miss out on something, I need more, and I want to eat, I want to buy some new things, listening to music, all those things. So let's quickly try this out together that you can experience this. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and out. And take a normal breath in and hold it. And then just look around what you can experience. What is actually happening right now? And then become more and more still and just pay attention to what is going on. I see that I'm in my room. Actually, it's quite comfortable. It's cold. It's not so warm as the weather outside. Some time for myself. And it's very silent. It's actually really chilled. And if you want to do this, you can do this kind of exercise again. Just take a breath in, out, then in and hold it and just become silent and look what is actually going on. Then you can kind of counteract this overstimulation to see what is already here. You just need to become a little bit more silent and relax. And if you pay attention to this process, you become more and more accustomed to enjoy and rest in that silence that might feel peaceful. Not that it's still quiet and silent, but not like boredom, you know? And what will happen is that you create some kind of distance between yourself or your point of view and the thought or the emotion. And then you are less identified with it. And an easy step how to do this is to focus not that much on the experience. Normally you focus on, I feel bored with thought, but focus more on experiencing, the act of experiencing. So when you watch the video and look at the phone or laptop, instead of only focusing on the experience, the video itself, focus on how you experience it. Who is looking through those eyes? And then just become quiet and see, is it really that boring? And you will realize that many things will go on, maybe some sounds, breathing, I don't know what, but it is actually not that boring. But let me ask you one thing. If you perceive in that way, is there really something that makes you feel disturbed or irritated? Or is it only an emotion or a thought, such as I feel bored, now I need to do this or that? Really check those things. So my tip for you is really, especially if you are experiencing some kind of uncomfortable emotions, do not try to distract yourself immediately or push it away. See what needs to be seen. And afterwards, after a few minutes, you can go watch Netflix, eat your chocolate bar, because then you're even more likely to enjoy it, because you act from a different place, not from a place of dissatisfaction, but more from a place that is more silent, more aware, more balanced. And you're less identified with all those thoughts and emotions. And to be honest, sometimes we all feel a little bit bored, and that is okay. It is part of life. Life is not 100% pleasure, it is a human experience. My name is Till, and this is Till Talk.